Booking a lot of meetings is not as difficult as people want to make it seem. However, there aren't a bunch of random hacks and tricks that you can use to 10x your reply rates in the same email. However, there are definitely a lot of fundamentals that you can follow that will boost your reply rates and ultimately book you more meetings. So today I want to show you how I do that, what technology I use, the process I use to create good email copy, and ultimately how I book more meetings. The two key elements to creating a good email are the copy and the offer. The offer is pretty self-explanatory. Whatever you are trying to sell to that person, the offer that they can't say no to, the thing that they're going to want to book the meeting for. And of course, the copy is the way in which you orient the email to make that offer the most enticing. I'm in Clay right now, which is a tool that allows you to improve your copy significantly. It allows you to personalize all of your outbound emails at scale, so you're not sending out blast emails that make it seem like they're sent by a robot. It also allows you to personalize these emails quickly, so you can do thousands and thousands of them at one time, as opposed to doing them all manually, which would take you days or weeks or months or even years, depending on the size of the list that you're sending out to. So I wanted to create a quick example. And so I'm going to pose as an SEO agency, and I'm going to reach out to a bunch of different SEO head of marketing people who might be interested in hiring my services. So what I'm going to do first here is click new table. And since we need to find people to reach out to, I'm going to click find people from LinkedIn. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a job title. Just for this example, for simplicity's sake, all I'm going to do is head of marketing. And to make sure that they're located near me, just in case I want to do an in-person meeting, we're going to do New York City. And I'm going to limit my results to 100 people just to keep this easy and simple. So now we have 100 people that are head of marketing in New York City, and we're going to import them into our table, and we're going to start doing some enriching. Our next step is to find more information about the company that they work for. Ultimately, we're trying to sell the company, but we need to reach out to the person. So it's great to import people, but to find a lot of information out about the company. So when the person reads the email, it seems like we're actually doing our research. The way we can do that is by first enriching the person's LinkedIn profile. All we have to do in order to do that is click enrich data right here and then enrich person. And you'll see that right here. Click on that. And all it asks for is a profile identifier, which is of course their LinkedIn URL. Since we have that for every person here, all we have to do is add it into this little box, continue to add fields, and we'll run the first 10 rows to speed things up. Awesome. So now we can click on each one of these boxes here, and you'll see that tons of different data points load about these particular people, their education, the amount of jobs that they've had. You can click on each individual job and see what the job titles were. You can see their summary. The one data point we're looking for here is their company LinkedIn URL. So if we go to their experience, click 0 right here, we have their company LinkedIn URL right here. We have a ton of information about the person, but now we're going to find information about the company. For that, we have the same process of enriching data, clicking enrich company, and using that latest experience and putting it into the company identifier section. Then we just run the first 10 rows again. So now we have even more information, this time about their company. And if we click on it, we can see a ton of different data points. Their description is incredibly helpful, as you'll see down the line. We also have their employee count, where they're located, their company domain, their size, super helpful stuff. So now we have a ton of information on both the person and the company in question that we're trying to reach out to. And so what I'm going to do next is run these integrations for every person in every row. And then I'm going to come back and do the next step, which is finding these people's emails. What we're going to do here is click add column and then add enrichment. And then we're going to go to work email. So you see here that we can waterfall multiple email providers. What this allows us to do is it allows us to use email providers concurrently to run one after another. So for example, if one email provider such as Prospeo is able to find an email, the entire waterfall stops. However, if it can't find an email, the next email provider, Clay for example, will look for the email as well. And it keeps going down the waterfall until it finds an email or until it exhausts all of the work email providers. This is incredibly helpful for data accuracy. It makes it much more likely that you're able to find an email. And so that's what we're going to do in this case. Here is the order of data providers that we're going to use. And all it requires is a full name, which we have here obviously, and then the company domain, which we have right here. And we're going to run every row here and try to find as many emails as possible. And I'll get back to you with how many we found. All right, awesome. So we were able to find emails for about half the people we originally imported. And next we have to write some personalized outbound to our prospects. So personalization is one of the best and easiest ways to make your copy sound great. It's really difficult to get people to respond to your emails if they don't feel like they were written specifically towards them with intent and time and care in mind. And personalization is the best way to combat that because people will appreciate it, both time and effort. Clay just came out with this awesome email tool called the AI Email Builder, and we're going to use that to build an amazing personalized email. What we're going to do is click Start Email Campaign right here and draft messages. And now it's time to start writing our copy. All right, so I have pasted the copy that I want to use for our email campaign campaign. But as you can see here, there are some sections where there are brackets, and inside the brackets is the word personalization. In each one of the areas where these brackets are, I'm going to change what is in the email for each one of the prospects. So for example, saw that you work in the personalization industry. Where this says personalization, sometimes it's going to say saw you work in the CPG industry, saw you work in the forestry industry, saw you work in the B2B SaaS industry. We want this to change for whatever company we're reaching out to. So how do we do that? Well, in this email builder, we can use these things called blocks. You can see we did it for here already. For example, I just made a first name column. We put the first name right here. And in our little preview section, we can see that Jennifer pops up. But now we're going to do it with something a little more complex. So if we click a slash right here, there is an AI generated texting that pops up right here. And we're going to click that. And then a prompt shows up. I have all the prompts copied, so I'm just going to write them really quickly. Alrighty, so the prompt is done. And all I said was using the company description for, and then we're going to put the company right here. Tell me what industry the company operates in. Don't tell me anything other than the industry. No extra words. Don't include the name industry anywhere in the text. Make it all lowercase, and don't include any acronyms. Here's the description. And then I put a little block right here that has the description of the company column. Now we're going to run the prompt and see how it goes. Awesome. Saw that you work in the food and beverage industry. This works. So we're going to save our changes. Let's do it for the next one. All right. So here's our next prompt. This one is giving some ideas as to how they could use SEO to rank better among their competitors. What I said was you're an organic marketing specialist working with consumer companies to help grow their customer base, revenue, and ultimately profits. Using their company description, create a bulleted list of the 3 best possible digital organic marketing ideas for a company name. Don't recommend social media content. And here is the company description. Make bullet points short and to the point. Let's run it. So just looking at them now, they look pretty good. They look engaging and I like them. So let's save them. All right. Lastly, we have one more, which is finding what the company does and using it at the end of the email. So this one's pretty simple. Just tell me what they likely do very well for their customers. All right. So we have our entire email built out here. And so I'm going to run some of these rows and we can read through the emails ourselves. Question about Tomorrow Farms. Saw that you work in the food and beverage industry. Here are the 3 different recommendations for them. And we can make you the most prominent company in the world at creating irresistible and sustainable food and beverage brands. Another one, question about teamwork. So you work in the entertainment industry. Here are 3 custom recommendations as to how organic marketing can help you out. So this ended up working really well. It's super personalized and these people are going to likely appreciate the recommendations you gave them and they're going to appreciate the effort that you put into sending the email. Of course, we know that these are automated, but it's quite difficult to discern to the naked eye that they are written by AI. I would say it seems pretty well thought out. It seems like it was well written and overall generally a good email. And that is pretty much it. Using really personalized emails that have a great offer and actually entice the prospect is the best way to book more meetings. This has worked time and time again for me and others that I work with, and I highly recommend it for anybody who's getting into lead generation or has had any trouble booking meetings. Feel free to like and subscribe if you have enjoyed this content, and let me know if you have any questions. Happy prospecting.